What's up, you guys? Team MCS here, Player Raph, doing a deck profile today. We're going to be doing a profile of Dark Worlds. Let's get started. Of course, in Dark Worlds, you got to run 3 Grapha. You have to run 3 Snow. And you basically have to run 3 Brow. Standard 9 Dark World monsters that everybody knows that you pretty much should run. Grapha, of course, the big boss monster. Snow the Searcher, and Brow gives you extra draw power. In my build, I like running 1 gold and 1 silver. Some people like 2 silver just because of its effect. I feel like 1 of each. If you get its effect to go off, its secondary effect, then a lot of decks play field present decks like heroes. Heroes don't really play a field present deck. They like keeping stuff in their hand. That's when silver's good. But then some decks like Rabbit, they like putting everything all out on the field. That's when gold's good. So really 1 of each I feel is better than just having 1 or the other. So that's why I picked that. Of course, tutor guide. Search out your Brow and bounce back for Grapha when you have a Grapha in the grave. Or when your stuff gets removed, when your Grapha gets deprisoned. You can just go into another big monster like Leviathan or anything that'll help you keep on with your attack power. Or even if your Snow gets removed or anything, you can always go into Levier and bring it back. For the final monster, I like the Malefic Stardust. It protects your gates, and it's a kind of a surprise factor. I actually played at my locals this weekend, and nobody was expecting this. That's why I especially like the Malefic Stardust because of its secondary effect of protecting your gates. That's it. That's all the monsters. Spells, you run 3 of all the main spells. Of course, 3 gates, 3 dealings, 3 drag down, and 3 upstart. That's the whole engine to the deck. Pretty much standard in all Dark World decks. 3 of each. You really can expend them. They're expendable. But you just gotta know when to use them and at the right time. And then finally, card destruction and allure. Foolish to get your Grapha in the grave. Pretty standard. And then the Stables, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn. That's all the spells. For the traps, I'm only running 2 Reckless Greed. I know that you can really combo them on the same turn when you run 3. But I feel like 3 can get kind of cloggy. You could always use a different card. You could always use a Gates or a Dealings instead of another Reckless. So that's why I cut it to 2. And then I do main the 2 Mind Crush. Just an amazing combo with Drag Down. And when you want to pitch a card, always you call like Exodia or something ridiculous that you know your opponent doesn't have. And then 1 Torrential, just to clear the field. You can always blow up your own field, get your Graphas back. It's not really a problem. Especially good against decks that overextend. And then I run 2 of the Viruses, Deck Dev and Eradicator. They really work. You almost always have a target when you get these. Snow and Snow always lets you search for your gold or your silver when you have something that when you have for example an epidemic and you don't have a target, always search with it for the Snow. And gold and silver go up to them under gates. And the final card is of course Solemn Judgment. Pretty much stop everything. So that's it for the main deck. Extra deck, I run a Musa Rhythm. Musa Rhythm, it goes up to 3600 gates. Yeah, that's self-explanatory. Tempo for the Zen mains. Levier to bring back your monsters. Giga Brilliant when you're pushing for game. 2 Zen mains because you always have room for 2 Zen mains. Actually, one of them might be cut when I get Adrius. Then Leviathan, Shockmaster. Occasionally you make Shockmaster. You rarely make Shockmaster, but when you do, it works. Gemini Pearl, Utopia with the Utopia Ray. And since I run the gold and the silver, I run a Tiras. Still looking to get an Adrius. Probably going to swap out a Zen mains for it. And then with the Tiras and the Adrius, of course, goes the Gaia Dragon. And then another card, Heliopolis. Heliopolis works in this deck. When you're pushing for game and you still have a whole bunch of monsters in your hand or on the field that you just want to get rid of your opponent's stuff, just tribute your monsters. If you know you're going to win, just pop the back row. You can easily end the game with this card. And of course, the Stardust for the Malefic Stardust. And then the side deck, 1 Imps for the Mirror Match, Fossil Dyna, 2 DD Crow, 2 Electric Virus. Then I side in the 2 Trans Archfiend for when you're game 2. Game 2, you're pretty much always gonna get sided macro, and you know you're gonna get your Grapha removed. Trans Archfiend always helps bringing them back. 2 Cyber Dragon with the Chimera Tech when you're playing the Yugioh matchup. Nobleman, of course. Get rid of those pesky face downs. 2 MSTs because you know they're gonna be siding in stuff. And then the final card, Gozen. I like Gozen over Rivalry just because I run the Malefic Stardust. I feel like if Malefic Stardust just happened to be a fiend, then I would run the Rivalry. But I don't, so Gozen always works. And yeah, that's the deck. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions. And that's about it. Team MCS out.